Chairman, I'm pleased now to recognize the ranking minority member of the Resources Committee, Mr. DeFazio from Oregon, for 3 minutes.
The gentleman from Oregon is recognized for 3 minutes.
Subject to extension.
I appreciate the gentleman and appreciate his statement and leadership. What are we doing here today? Well, we're going to take a rule established by Ronald Reagan, the first modest attempt to protect water quality, stream quality, forests, and other environmental values in cases of strip mining, mountaintop removal. So the Republicans today are going to overrule the judgment of Ronald Reagan, preempt him with a rule that basically says it's okay to blow the top off a mountain, dump it into a stream, and it doesn't affect water quality because the stream doesn't exist anymore, except there is a little problem. The water does still leach through all of the toxic soils, and it does cause problems downstream, but let's not worry about that too much. So, secondly, they're going to preempt states' rights. Hey, the party of states' rights. They're all for local control. They hate those one-size-fits-all federal rules, don't they? No, not today. We're going to impose a Bush administration midnight rule, which court found to be laughable in terms of its compliance with federal law. They're going to impose that on all the states of the United States of America as the law of the land. We're going to preempt the judgment of any state that wants to do more to protect water quality than allow the tops to be blown off of mountains and mining waste dumped into streams and saying there's no problem. But we'll study it for 5 years, as we heard previously. Oh, okay, sure. How much harm will happen in that time? So that's a few of the problems and the inconsistencies I see here today. We're preempting a Reagan rule that was quite modest, not overly burdensome on the industry, should have been improved upon. Bush administration tried to totally undo it, was laughed out of court. The Obama administration fumbled and messed up, writing a new rule with an incompetent contractor. And now we're going to impose the Bush rule on all the states. They're going to deem, as we heard earlier, that is pretend that it meets the Endangered Species Act and give that pretension the force of law. And what they're saying is, hey, there were at least 2 or 3 people in the Bush administration who had a conversation, and that meant, they talked about the Endangered Species Act, so that meets the intention of the Endangered Species Act. Finally, they're talking about war on coal. Now, we will hear from some well-intentioned people later here today who are going to talk about the potential job impact of this, and I appreciate that. There has to be a balance, but this is not a balance. And this is yet another imaginary war being waged by the Obama administration on coal. War on Christmas, war on coal, war on jobs, war on whatever. At least it's not an overseas war that's unnecessary in Iraq that costs us many thousands of lives and trillions of dollars. But the war on coal, when Obama administration came into office, there were 5,000 less jobs in coal mining than there are today. The Obama administration leased out 2.1 billion tons of coal. I'd ask the gentleman for 2 additional minutes.
Yield the gentleman 2 more minutes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Recognized 2 additional minutes.
2.1 billion tons of coal in the Powder River Basin in its first term. That's twice what the Bush administration leased in the 4 years before that. And, recent accounts from the GAO lead us to believe that maybe they were a little too cozy with the industry, and in fact, that those deals were a little too sweet for that 2.1 billion tons of coal. So that's a war on coal. No, what they're talking about is actually less coal is being used to produce electricity. Now, they're also the party of market forces and capitalism. Well, guess what? Market forces and capitalism have reduced the use of coal. Natural gas was really, really, really cheap a couple of years ago. Coal use to generate electricity totally tanked. Had nothing to do with the Obama administration. It had to do with market forces, and they worship the market. So you can't, I hope they're not trying to undo market forces here and have some kind of socialist dictate. So what's happened is, coal use has bumped up a little bit as natural gas has become a little bit more expensive. But that was about economics and not policy. So bottom line here is, should we allow without any regulation, blowing the tops off mountains, dumping them into valleys, filling in streams, and pretend it has no impact on the environment? And I would say no.
Gentlemen,